Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about Shaperbox. So let's start off with what is Shaperbox. Well, Shaperbox is a multi-tool that has many modules that you can modulate, such as a distortion unit, a filter unit, crash unit, etc. So Shaperbox has many uses. It can be used as a tool for build-ups, it can be used for sidechaining, it can be used for making glitches, it can be even used for sound design with its audio rate capabilities, which are absolutely crazy. So yeah. At the top left we have bands, and you see you have a left arrow and a right arrow. If you pull the right arrow, you can see that there is a high split. You can set the band split from 6 decibels per octave to 24 decibels per octave. Same goes for the low end. At the center here we have the LFO, which you can create as many points as you like, and to create a point you just simply click with your mouse. But then you can right click it again to make the point more sharp, and right click it once again to make it as sharp as it can be. If you want to create a sharp point from the start, you just hold Ctrl and there we go. You can also hold Shift to select multiple points, and then I can delete them if I don't want them. Up here we have the input, the output, we have the distortion units drive mode. As you can see, if I decrease it or increase it, the LFO moves, and also you can see it visually here. So for each module you're gonna have different settings up here. The master mix blends between the pre-Shaperbox and post-Shaperbox. The mix on the top right changes the mix between the dry and the wet of the module that you're on. We have LFO smoothing. As you can see, it smooths out the LFO. Then we have MIDI triggering on and off. Here you have this little cog which you can send settings from. And then you have the LFO mode, which has 3 different sections. You have beat mode, which as you can see it is synced to the DAW. You have Hertz mode, which goes from that to 5000 Hz, which as you can see is really fast. Then you have pitch mode, which is basically MIDI triggering. So then we have the envelope follower. You have an envelope follower for each module except the volume. In the volume one you have a compressor, which I'll get into later. So then I'm gonna turn on the envelope follower, and what it does, it follows your envelope. So you can change here the settings, the attack of the envelope, the hold and the release of the envelope, and then you also have the shift, which is really useful because I can increase or decrease the parameters value. You can also increase and decrease the depth of the amount over here, which is how intense the envelope follower affects the distortion unit. As you can see when I play now, the envelope follower moves the percentage here. You can also set up a threshold from -infinite up to 0 decibels. In the volumes modulator you have a compressor here, which is just like the envelope follower, but it compresses your sound. So you can use Shaperbox also as a compressor if you would like. As you can see, you have attack, hold and release. You can have adaptive release and adaptive makeup, which basically stabilizes your sound. So it will stay on a constant volume, and that's pretty cool. Then over here on the LFO controls, we have this, which lets you select multiple points. You can enable or disable snap. As you can see, it is snapping to the grid. And if you hold shift, it disables snapping. Over here you have this pen tool for lines. You can create lines. You can create them at any direction you want. You have the same thing for arcs. As you can see, I can create a sine wave really easily right here. And then you have S-curves. You also can move the phase of the LFO, as you can see, right and left. You have randomized position of all the points you have here, and you can multiply. So if you hold shift, you can multiply the waveform by 3. If you don't hold shift, you can multiply it by 2. And then you have this little trash can which deletes everything. You also have undo and redo, and then you have more options. Right over the bottom you have MIDI switch, which is basically just like articulations, which you can turn off and on. And as you can see, if I click here the notes, if I click here the little boxes, it assigns notes. And then to the left we have presets of shapes. As you can see, we have saws, we have basic stuff. We can choose different rhythms. You can have sweeps, and you can have many presets if you're lazy to make your own, or if you just wanna make a quick creative sound. Sidechain with Shaperbox, all you need to do is you open a Shaperbox instance in your bus, send or group. Later on you create your sidechain shape that you desire, and then you turn on MIDI triggering one shot. Suggest you would use MIDI triggering on with one shot mode rather than on, because on the normal mode it is just looping, and if you make genre like dubstep etc, it is very useful to have one shot mode on so it will not keep looping. Now we're gonna be making a growl just out of Shaperbox, so I'm gonna just use a sound wave in here and we're gonna start by making a growl. So for the future, I really hope that Shaperbox2 gives us effects instancing, since I think that's one of the most useful things that Shaperbox can have. I think this is gonna complete Shaperbox, and the reason I want effects instancing is because you can do so much more. If you can have, let's say, 3 drives and 3 filters, you can basically just take a sine wave and make any sound out of it just through Shaperbox and audio rate modulation. I think it will be really useful, and overall Shaperbox is a great tool. I would recommend you guys to get it, and yeah, I will have everything linked down in the description. Thanks again for Cableguys for hooking me up with this plugin, and I hope you guys have a good time.
Yo.